The rain had been falling since evening, the kind that soaks the streets and muffles every sound. I was sitting alone in my small house, just scrolling through my phone, trying to ignore the heavy silence that pressed in against the walls. The electricity flickered once, then steadied. I didn't think much of it. Power cuts are pretty common during these monsoon nights. At exactly 11:47 p.m., my phone rang. The screen showed an unknown number. I hesitated for a moment before answering. When I finally did, all I heard was slow, uneven breathing. Nothing else. Thinking it was just some prank caller, I said hello. A couple of times, no reply. The call disconnected on its own. A strange, uneasy feeling started to creep into my chest, but I just shook it off and put the phone down. A few minutes later, it rang again, the same number. This time, when I answered, a faint whisper slid right into my ear, cold and deliberate. "Don't turn around." My heart just skipped. I laughed nervously, totally convinced someone was just trying to scare me, and I ended the call. Immediately, a message popped up on my screen. "I'm standing behind you." My whole body stiffened. Slowly, very slowly, I turned. The room was empty. There was nothing there, just shadows, the sound of the rain dripping outside, and the ticking of the clock on the wall. Pooh. I went around and checked the door and all the windows. Everything was locked up tight. My phone vibrated again. I answered, my hand shaking a little. "You left me alone," the voice said. It wasn't an angry voice. It was hurt. And then came the words that completely shattered my calm. "You don't remember the accident." A memory buried deep forced its way into my mind drain. Blurred headlights. A sudden, terrible impact. The voice on the phone was familiar. It was the voice of the friend I had lost in that crash, a crash I had walked away from. The phone rang again. I stared at it, frozen. What was happening? A message came through. "I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just lonely." A cold dread washed over me, colder than the rain outside. I replied, my fingers trembling as I typed, "What do you want?" The response was almost instant, just to talk, like we used to. I sat there in the dark, my heart pounding in my chest. The rain kept falling, and I kept talking to the ghost on the other end of the line. We talked for hours. He told me about the other side, about how quiet it was. I told him about my life, the guilt that had been eating me alive for years. It was strange, almost peaceful. The fear began to fade, replaced by a deep, aching sadness. As the first light of dawn started to break through the clouds, he said, "I have to go now, but I'll call again." I didn't know if I wanted him to. The phone fell silent. The rain stopped. I was alone again, but the silence felt different now. It was filled with the memory of his voice, a whisper from beyond the grave. The next night, I waited. I didn't know if I was hoping for the call or dreading it. At exactly 11:47 p.m., the phone rang. It was him. And so it began. A nightly ritual. A conversation between the living and the dead. Some nights we'd laugh about old memories. Other nights we'd just sit in silence, the sound of our breathing connecting us across the veil. I started to look forward to his calls, to his voice in the darkness. He was my secret, my ghost, my friend. One night he asked me a question that made my blood run cold. "Do you ever wish you could join me?" The thought had crossed my mind in my darkest moments of grief. But hearing it from him, It felt real, like an invitation. I didn't answer. The line went quiet. He didn't push. But the question hung there in the air between us, long after the call ended. Was this friendship, or was it something more sinister? Was he trying to comfort me, or was he trying to pull me over to his side? I still don't know the answer. All I know is that every night, when the clock nears 11:47, I find myself watching my phone, waiting for the ghost to call. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Stay safe out there.